Let me tell you something real quick. Everybody talking know what they're talking about. And everybody who knows something ain't out here shouting it to the world. That's the difference. If you want to make it somewhere in life, you better learn the art of focus and silence. See, too many folks spend their time explaining, I'm working on this. I got plans. I'm about to blow up. Look here, stop telling everybody your every move like you're a press release. You ain't got to broadcast your grind. Just show up one day shining and let them wonder how you did it. That's how you win. Let me break it down. Focus is expensive. You can't afford distractions. People will come around poking, prodding in, wanting to know what you got cooking. But not everybody at your table is there to eat with you. Some are just there to steal recipes. Learn to keep some things to yourself. Move in silence, like a whisper in a storm. Let your results walk in the room before you do. I'm telling you, peace and progress go hand in hand. When you stop explaining yourself to people who ain't never built nothing, you'll feel lighter. You'll sleep better. You'll move smarter. It ain't about being rude. It's about protecting what's sacred. And your dreams, they're sacred. And listen, silence don't mean weakness. Nah. Silence means confidence. It means you believe in what you're doing so much, you don't need validation. That's power. That's grown-up business. That's how kings and queens move. You ever see royalty running around trying to prove they're royal? No, they sit back, calm, collected, watching, planning. That's you now. So focus on yourself. Build in silence. Protect your peace. And when you finally pop out, let him say, where did you come from? And you just smile, because you know you've been here. You just stayed quiet and handled your business. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. And that's a lesson we all eventually learn, sometimes the hard way. See, in life, we get excited about our dreams, our goals, our next big move, and naturally, we want to share that excitement with others. We want people to see our vision, to cheer us on, to support us the way we believe we would support them. But here's the truth. Not everybody clapping for you is happy for you. Some folks are just nosy. Some folks are just keeping tabs. And others, they're only around for the show, not the journey. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. And that's a lesson we all eventually learn, sometimes the hard way. See, in life, we get excited about our dreams, our goals, our next big move, and next door we want excitement with others. We want people to see our vision, to cheer us on, to support us the way we believe we would support them. But here's the truth. Not everybody clapping for you is happy for you. Some folks are just nosy. Some folks are just keeping tabs, and others, they're only around for the show, not the journey. We tend to give people access to our most vulnerable moments, our ideas before they're fully baked, our plans before they're rooted, our energy before it's restored. And we do it out of love, out of trust, out of habit. But life will teach you that access is a privilege, not a right. You can't keep giving out front row seats to folks who don't even applaud when you're standing on the stage. Some people aren't meant to see the behind the scenes of your life because they can't handle the process. They don't understand the blood, sweat, and late nights. They just want to see the highlight reel, and if they can't benefit from it, they lose interest. You got to start screening who gets to be close to you. Just because they've been around a long time don't mean they've earned the right to stay close. Longevity doesn't equal loyalty. Some people are only loyal to the version of you that's convenient for them. But the moment you grow, change, or level up, they start acting different. And that's your signal. It's time to rearrange the seating chart of your life. You are the director of your own show. So if someone brings bad energy, bad intentions, or bad vibes into your space, you have the right to move them back to the balcony. You can love people from a distance. You can support them without sacrificing your peace. You can wish them well and still walk your own way. Boundaries aren't disrespectful, they're necessary. Too many dreams get delayed because we're trying to bring everyone with us. But your journey is yours. You're not responsible for making everyone understand it. You're responsible for honoring it, protecting it, and walking it with purpose. So be mindful, be intentional. And when it comes to your life, your goals, and your peace, stop giving front row seats to people who never deserve to be in the building in the first place. You owe yourself that much. Silence is power, not weakness. That's something most people don't understand until life forces them to sit down, shut up, and listen. We live in a world where everybody feels like they have to speak on everything. Social media got people thinking every move, every opinion, every little detail needs to be broadcasted. But the truth is, real power moves in silence. You don't have to announce everything you're doing to feel validated. You don't have to explain yourself to folks who don't matter. When you truly believe in your purpose, your actions will always speak louder than your words ever could. Some of the most powerful transformations happen in silence. Seeds grow in darkness. Muscles build in pain. Diamonds form under pressure. None of that is loud. None of that is for show. It's quiet, it's internal, and it's consistent. That's where real strength lies. It ain't in shouting about what you're going to do, it's in doing it. People out here telling the world about plans they haven't even started. Meanwhile, the ones really grinding don't have time to talk, they're too busy building. And when they show up strong, focused, and ready because they've been putting in the work while everyone else was making noise. You don't need to prove anything to anybody, not your family, not your friends, not the people watching from the sidelines. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Let them make assumptions. Every time you stay silent in the face of doubt, you're gaining power. Every time you choose not to react to negativity, you're holding control. That's strength. That's maturity. That's wisdom. There's something powerful about not needing to be seen, not needing to clap back, not needing to have the last word. Because when you really know who you are and where you're headed, you don't have to say a word. You just keep moving forward. And let's be real, sometimes silence is the only language that fake people understand. You stop engaging, you stop entertaining, and watch how fast the noise dies down. Some folks feed off your energy, your response is your attention. The moment you pull back and go quiet, they lose their power. Because your silence is loud, it speaks volumes. It tells people you're not here for drama. You're not here for games. You're here for growth. So don't let the world pressure you into thinking silence equals weakness. It takes strength to keep your mouth shut when your ego wants to speak. It takes discipline to hold your peace when chaos is calling. And it takes wisdom to know when to speak and when to stay silent. You don't owe anyone a play-by-play of your process. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Let your results do the talking. Let your success be your statement. And let your silence be your strength. Growth requires privacy, and that's the part most people overlook. Everyone wants to grow, everyone wants to evolve, but very few are willing to do it quietly. We live in a time where people want to be seen developing before they've even developed. They want applause during the planting season, when there's no fruit on the tree yet. But real growth doesn't happen under a spotlight. It happens in the shadows, in the quiet corners of life where nobody's watching, where nobody's clapping, where nobody's interfering. That's where the magic happens. That's where the roots get deep. When you're really growing, you don't have time to update everybody on what you're doing. You're focused. You're dealing with things internally. You're fighting battles that nobody sees. You're breaking habits, learning new ones, changing the way you think, the way you move, the way you react. And all of that, that's private work. That's sacred work. And it doesn't need an audience. Not everybody is meant to see your process because not everybody will understand it. Some people will doubt you, some will judge you, and some will try to stop you, not because they care, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. There's a certain level of transformation that only happens when you disconnect. When you pull away from the noise, from the opinions, from the expectations. That's when you hear yourself clearly. That's when you start to understand what you really want, who you really are, and what's truly worth your time. Privacy gives you room to experiment, to fail, to learn, to try again without the pressure of being watched, without the weight of other people's voices in your head. It gives you space to become. And don't get it, twisted privacy is not secrecy. You're not hiding because you're ashamed. You're not silent because you're unsure. You're quiet because you're working. Because you respect the process enough to protect it. Because you know that some of the greatest breakthroughs happen when the world isn't looking. You're not growing for likes, you're not building for followers, and you're not evolving for anyone else's approval. You're doing it for you, for your peace, for your future. People love the finished product, but they rarely understand the construction. That's why you got to stop inviting them into your workshop. Let them see the final result when it's ready. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them be surprised. You don't owe them a blueprint. You owe yourself the freedom to grow without distraction. So keep your circle tight, your focus sharper, and your journey private, because the best version of you is forming behind closed doors. And when you step out, fully grown, fully healed, fully aware, they'll realize they never saw it coming. And that's exactly how it should be. Focus is a solo journey, and the sooner you accept that, the stronger you become. There's something powerful about realizing that not everyone is meant to walk with you, not everyone will understand your vision, and not everyone is built for the road you're traveling. When you're truly locked in on something meaningful, something life-changing, something personal, you'll find that the crowd thins out real quick. Distractions disappear. The noise fades. And what's left is just you, your dream, and the grind. That's not loneliness, that's clarity. That's where the real work begins. People always say they want success, they want peace, they want purpose, but they don't always understand the price. The price is isolation. The price is missing out. The price is being misunderstood. And that's fine, because your calling was never a conference call. It wasn't a group decision. It came to you in the quiet. It stirred in your heart. So it's your responsibility to follow through, even if nobody else sees the path. When you're focused, really focused, you don't have time for validation. You don't have time for debates. You don't have time for convincing people. You just get to work. Focus means you stop looking sideways. You stop comparing. You stop chasing what everyone else is doing because you realize none of that matters. You've got your own mountain to climb, your own race to run. And you're not in competition with anybody but the person you were yesterday. That takes discipline. That takes maturity. And that takes courage, because the truth is being focused sometimes makes you look crazy to people who aren't. They'll say you're distant, you're acting different, you're not fun anymore. But what they don't see is the vision that keeps you up at night, the dream that won't let you settle, the fire that's pushing you forward while everyone else is still playing around. And it's not personal. You're not cutting people off out of hate. You're making room for growth, for clarity, for purpose, because not everyone can go where you're going. Some folks are content where they are, and that's their choice. But you've seen too much, felt too much, been through too much to stay stuck. So you keep pushing, even when it gets quiet, even when it gets lonely, even when nobody claps, because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it for the life you know you deserve. That's why focus is a solo journey. It's not about being alone. It's about being aligned. It's about choosing purpose over popularity, discipline over distraction, and peace over pressure. So you walk your path, head high, eyes forward, and don't look back, because the best things in life are waiting on the other side of your focus. All you have to do is keep walking. So let me leave you with this. When you choose to focus on yourself and stay silent, you're not being selfish and you're not being weak. You're being wise. You're protecting your peace, guarding your purpose, and building something real without the world's noise in your ear. Everybody doesn't need to know your next move. Everybody doesn't need access to your process, because the real ones, they'll feel your growth without you saying a word. So stay low, stay locked in, and let your success be the voice that speaks the loudest. Keep building in silence. And when it's time, show up so strong they can't ignore you. Two halves